Brothers, when you're riding and the rear wheel suddenly bursts, what's your first reaction? Do you assume the engine has a mechanical fault? Or that debris got lodged in the tire? Today the shop received exactly this kind of tire burst vehicle. Mid-ride, the rear wheel suddenly blew out, leaving a skid mark dozens of meters long on the road. After pulling over, the rider broke out in a cold sweat. Upon inspection, we found the small sprocket was simply gone. We often get messages asking us to post more, and we really appreciate that. But long-form videos take a lot of time, from filming to editing. Brothers, if you enjoy this content, please hit follow. We'll keep bringing you more practical, quality content. Thank you all. Alright, let's go. Hey, this can't be pried off, man. What's going on? This flew right off. Tall, short. Whoever's free, come lift this engine up. Ha ha ha. Brothers, today we're tearing down this BMW S1000RR. Focusing on the transmission output shaft. Many riders tend to overlook this inconspicuous, yet critical component. The root cause of this bike's failure was that the threads at the end of the shaft securing the small sprocket were completely worn out. The lock nut came loose, and the small sprocket was lost entirely. At high speed, the rear wheel instantly locked up. An extremely high-risk situation. Let's cover a few key technical points. First, superbikes produce enormous output torque, and the S1000RR's factory spec requires a precise torque. For the small sprocket nut, plus a brand new lock tab must be used. If the torque isn't applied to spec during service, and the tab isn't replaced, constant vibration will gradually loosen the nut, repeatedly impacting the threads, until they eventually strip. Second, chain tension is critical. If the chain is too loose, sudden acceleration creates massive shock loads. If it's too tight, it constantly drags on the shaft, and combined with long-term neglect of cleaning and lubrication, moisture continually corroding the parts. This accelerates fatigue wear on the threads and splines. Third, many people think if it's just stripped threads, a simple weld repair will do. But the output shaft on these bikes endures huge shock loads, and a repaired thread can't match factory strength. It only treats the symptom, not the root cause. The risk of failure remains on the road. The proper fix is a full replacement with a genuine new part. Many serious incidents are never caused by a major engine component failing outright. They come from small, hidden wear in the drivetrain, building up over time. Especially with used leader-class sport bikes, the very first thing you should check is the small sprocket, the lock tab, shaft threads, and chain condition. There's no room for luck with motorcycles. Only regular, thorough inspection and maintenance will keep you safe, even at the limit. Seriously, whoever designed this thing? It's packed with clever engineering everywhere. Replacing the transmission output shaft on a BMW S1000RR is a far bigger job than you'd expect. To remove the damaged shaft, the whole engine has to come apart. Split the cases. It's essentially rebuilding the entire engine from scratch. During reassembly, every part's alignment and installation sequence matters. The slightest error can cause drivetrain problems to reappear later under high-speed riding, and precisely because the process is so involved. Once a leader bike's output shaft fails like this, a quick, temporary fix simply can't withstand ongoing stress. This bike is a perfect cautionary example. An unnoticed drivetrain issue eventually turned into a dangerous rear-wheel lockup. Many repairs may look like just swapping one part, but behind them is a full, precise rebuild of the entire powertrain. 90 degrees. Second pass, angle. Repeat first pass, angle. M8.5, first side, 9 degrees. The owner mentioned earlier that the brakes had very noticeable shudder on this bike, so we arranged a set of genuine, near-new brake rotors for replacement. When riders experience brake shudder, their first instinct is usually to suspect the pads, but the core issue is usually the brake rotor itself. Under hard, aggressive riding with frequent heavy braking, the rotor heats up rapidly, then immediately cools down. This repeated heating and cooling cycle causes stress deformation in the disc surface, leading to face runout and uneven thickness. Even if it's not visibly warped to the eye, even a tiny deviation in disc flatness will be felt through the brake lever and pedal as noticeable shudder. The faster you go, the more pronounced the shudder, directly affecting braking stability and rider confidence. This kind of issue won't cause immediate brake failure, but it steadily eats into your braking margin, a safety hazard that's easy to overlook. Alright, brothers, the repair and full service on this BMW S1000RR is now complete. The core job of this repair was replacing the engine's transmission output shaft. Replacing the shaft is an extremely involved process. While this repair doesn't affect the engine's core performance, not a single installation step can be skipped. The workload is basically equivalent to reassembling an entire engine. When many people shop for a used motorcycle, they focus on checking for accident history, signs of disassembly, and maintenance records. But it's easy to overlook these kinds of hidden, subtle issues. This bike is a textbook example of exactly that. When buying a used bike, it's very hard to spot these inconspicuous drivetrain-related faults. This issue is also quite serious. It can ultimately cause the rear wheel to lock up, a high-risk situation. Fortunately, the owner wasn't hurt. There are several causes behind shaft damage like this. Long-term lack of maintenance on the small sprocket, grime continually corroding the metal, and on top of that, abnormal chain tension, all of which accelerate shaft wear. Every part on the bike has its own service life. Many serious incidents are not caused directly by a crash, but rather by these easily overlooked small issues, building up gradually over time. So we'd also suggest that based on how you actually use your bike, you carry out targeted maintenance and upkeep. Aside from fixing this bike's engine issue, we also gave the whole bike a full service, including servicing the front and rear suspension, and the front and rear brake calipers. This time we again chose ETV high-performance brake pads for it, since the owner previously told us that braking on this bike caused severe shudder. Based on our experience, we judged this was caused by the brake rotor. To keep costs down, we replaced it with a genuine OEM brake rotor, since the earlier accident had also deformed the chain, and the small sprocket had gone missing entirely. This time we replaced the whole set with a brand new sprocket assembly. Brothers, same advice as always, make sure to regularly inspect your bike. Riding safety comes before everything else. Don't let these hidden issues become a burden. That's it for this episode. Thanks everyone for watching. Follow me to learn more motorcycle knowledge.